I think we'd all like to say that that was so exciting, and Ross and the BBC, we cannot thank you enough. Thank you. Big round of applause.
Applause.
Absolutely fantastic. It was fabulous. Huh? Happy? Yeah.
I would just add that when I'm asking you difficult questions and pushing you, it doesn't mean that I think what I'm thinking. I always end up with people being in a terrible mood with me after these programs.
You're going to get shot on the way out.
We're here to explore why you're doing what you're doing and why you feel what you feel. And it's obviously our job to push you in one way or the other. But if we're giving you a hard time, it's just because we're interested in what you think and what you're doing. So thank you very much for taking part. It was good fun.
And there's Andres at the back there. Give her a round of applause. Andres helped to make this happen.
It's you. Come on.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Everybody stand up, please.
Big stretch.
Okay, let's have a stretch. We're heading into the closing. And who tweeted about my jacket?
It was me. It was me.
I thought when you were laughing, I thought it was because Laura praised Lucian and I raised my eyebrows because I thought there was something going on. It's you. Okay, stretched, breathing deeply. Okay,
so we have about half an hour to kind of close and wrap up and talk to you about how we ensure that, you know, all the amazing things that have happened the last 2.5 days don't just disappear tomorrow morning when everyone jumps on planes. One boring but important piece of housekeeping to kick off with: can all ISEC meet at the information desk at the end of the closing ceremony? So that's kind of announcement number one. And announcement number two is please don't take the handsets with you, the voting handsets. We do need those back. Otherwise, we will have you arrested leaving the country. So you guys can sit down again now. Now, there was actually one person I promised could read out a very quick quote. I think it was Isaac. Isaac, where are you? Is Isaac here? Here he is. Quick. Can we turn that on? Can we put this mic on? Here we go.
I just want you to take a statement from...
The quote is, "We are talking a lot about dreams. I like dreamers because they are the most beautiful people in the world. But right now, we have a lot to do. I invite you to dream a lot. But you have to wake up early in the morning. You have to wake up early and shake your sheets. Leave those dreams fly so high, and then spend all the rest of the day try to make it true." Thank you.
Thank you.
And Caesar.
And I think Caesar. Was Caesar?
Caesar?
No?
Has he got the statement on the African network? Quick, quick, quick.
What's up, people? Just an update. The African network is up and running. We already have a lot of members on our Facebook group, so I invite every single person at this delegation to join the Facebook group as we leave, and a message in French for our African listeners.
One Young World African Network, it's in French, sorry, par l'humanisme et une vision, veut redonner de la dignité aux Africains de tout âge, redonner le pouvoir aux femmes et aux enfants. Dans l'esprit des résolutions de One Young World et à travers les nouveaux réseaux sociaux, nous nous engageons à mobiliser nos connexions, mettre en place des projets pour une Afrique meilleure. Nous nous engageons également à régulièrement mesurer notre succès en tant que représentant de l'Afrique et en tant que représentant du monde. One Young World.
So I think one of the great themes of the last 2.5 days has been that if you actually, you know, people may, when they're distant and don't know each other, have conflict, but when you move it down to a human level, everything kind of takes care of itself and people get on. And actually, you know, one of the key reasons that Kate and I created all of this is up on the screen behind us. And if we could put the photo up. So on the whichever way you look at it, on the right-hand side is Kate's daughter, Ella. And on the left-hand side, Agathe, Auguste, and Alphonse, my 3 kids. My boss says something very interesting. He says we all think that our neighbor has a better car, a better house, a better husband, a better wife, a better job, a better life, but nobody thinks that their neighbor has better kids, and I can assure you it's absolutely true. So, you know, what we are hoping is that you guys and the brilliance in this room is going to make the world a better place in the future, so that these people grow up, and Ella's a little bit older than mine, but these people grow up in a much better world, because if you don't sort it out, they're in real trouble. So please do. Now, what's critical about this is what happens next, because we really, 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 really want you to influence the world's leaders and to effect positive change. And of course, we can't make the world perfect overnight, but if we can just do 5, 10, 15 things, then the world will actually be a better place at the end of it. So what we wanted to talk to you about now is concrete steps on what happens next. Now, the first one is what happens to you. So what do you become? What are you? Will we allow you back? Will we see you again? Well, basically, you are now One Young World ambassadors. And as a One Young World ambassador, we want you to be One Young World ambassadors for 3 years, which means that if you want to, you get to come back for 2 more One Young Worlds. So after that, we kind of evict you for being too old. You become like me, or even younger. But so that's the first thing. Now, the next point is, what has been fantastic is before we actually had this event, we had 3 cities who said to us, we want to bid to host One Young World. There's Paris, there's Cape Town, and there's Washington. Now, in the breaks, and over the course of the last 2 days, we've had Pune in India, Hong Kong, Lima, and KL. So what's amazing is there's already competition hotting up for who gets to host One Young World. Now, in order not to divide the room and have you all voting against each other, what we're going to do is we're going to have a process where we'll be sending out the forms to formally bid over the next 2 weeks, and we'll be locking down in the next 6 to 8 weeks where we're going to host the next One Young World. And it will probably, it's definitely going to be in 2011, obviously, but we're probably going to put it in September, but that will depend upon where we end up and all those kind of things. So that's important. The next point is, there have been some amazing counselors, and we're going to say to the counselors and other people who are actually of a similar standing, we would like them to join an online counselor advisory group, so that if you guys want to reach out to some of the counselors and say, you know, hey, we're trying to do this, how can you help? We'd like some advice, that they're there as an online forum and an online platform. And the final point is, you know, this is the start. This One Young World was unique in that you hadn't done anything yet. We just brought you together. Now, in the 2011 One Young World, we want you coming back here explaining what you have done. So there'll be some brilliant delegate speakers as there were this time, except they'll be talking about, you know, what is it that One Young World Africa achieved? What is it that the religious group achieved? What is it that all these initiatives have actually achieved, and the initiatives that are going to come out of this moving forward? So we're going to, you know, if nobody volunteers, we'll pick on you, and you'll have to come up and stand up and tell us what you did over the last 12, 18 months since this One Young World. Very quickly, I talked to you about a website that's going to go live at 8 p.m. tonight. If we can just pull that up. So this is what you're going to get to when you go to the One Young World page. You are now One Young World ambassadors. You can log in with the email address we hold for you and your password. If you haven't, for any reason, if you've lost your password, don't have a password, you can ask for one, or if you haven't actually registered, you could register. But to be really clear, this is only open to the people who have attended One Young World. It's not open to, you know, young people who are interested in joining. You're only a One Young World ambassador if you actually attended this meeting. When you go into it, what we've then done, if you move to the next slide, is we've put a tab at the top that looks at all of the plenary task forces. So there's the environment, interfaith dialogue, global business, media, global health, leadership, and we've changed to add impact. And what you can do is you can sign up and say, I would like to be part of the task force that addresses global health or leadership or the environment. You'll also see further down there's a discussion board. So many of you wanted to say things and didn't get the chance because we're only here for 2 days. Do express it on here. And you can also look at the members with the flag of the nationality next to them. And then if you drill down another level, so imagine on the Environment Task Force, now our idea was to say that the people who actually were the delegate speakers on each plenary session should be the task force leaders. So unless any of them don't want to be, we're going to nominate the 6 people who are the delegate speakers as the task force leaders. If other people are really passionate about getting involved and being a task force leader, please shout. But what you'll have is you'll have the resolution, we'll have the member list, the related groups news, and the discussion board. And what we want you to do is say, yes, we all approve the global business or the environment resolution, but we think it can be much pithier. We think it can be more tangible. We think it can be more actionable. And what we want you then to do is work together to move this forward. And Kate's actually just going to say a little word about the resolutions.
Okay, so I wanted to repeat something that I was saying to you earlier because I want to make sure that we've absolutely all got this. You know what they say in business and government communications, you have to keep saying things. I don't think that's true with you guys because you're so smart. But if you look at the way this session that you've just had on the BBC, and I think for some of you it's your first time broadcasting and you did really well, it was exactly my point. What David and I have been trying to do is to create a platform that is recognized all over the world. Why? So that when you speak, when One Young World speaks, when one of you speaks, leaders listen. People stop and listen and say, oh, a One Young World ambassador said X. A One Young World resolution says Y. And it does mean that if you're in discussion programs or you're doing what you've just done, you refer to the resolution. Say, that's the resolution. This is what I'm doing about it. Excuse me, why are you asking me? What are you doing about that sort of thing? That's what I want to ask you. Exactly the point that Desmond Tutu made. You go right back in there. The work is incredibly hard, and you have to keep doing it. You listened to Bob the other night. I've lived in this country now for over 20 years. I have heard that man get more slagging off than a misbehaving footballer. Yeah? I have heard Geldof criticized about anything and everything. And I tell you what, that guy just stays on his message. Make poverty history. Why did you pledge 116 million and why haven't you paid it? You guys, exactly the same thing. So as One Young World ambassadors, I urge you, you're the first ones. You've got to help us make this count. David and I, as I said to some of you earlier, in our public lives, are absolutely committed to your resolutions and to you. Every time we are speaking, and David speaks on major platforms all over the world, One Young World will be talked about. You will be talked about. So take that stuff really seriously. And remember, you repeat your brand. One Young World is your brand. That's what makes you different. When you put One Young World ambassador on your resume, you're the only ones. For the next year, you are the only ones in the world. In the 7 billion people, there's just you. So you have to keep saying it so that you get recognized. When you decide something, the world's got to know it matters. Yeah? Yeah?
So we're going to go to a live vote. We're going to ask you 6 questions, and you're going to vote on them. Some more serious than the others. So if you get your little voting devices out. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes for everyone who's running out to get one to go and get on that.
Oh, you naughty people.
The room is just emptied. Whilst we're doing that, honestly, you guys, I was so proud of you in that BBC World session. You were fantastic. It was absolutely amazing. So give yourselves a big round of applause.
You were fantastic.
I particularly loved the person who said, you know, you're doing exactly what Desmond Tutu said the media do. Okay, so whilst the others are coming back in, we'll pull up the first question so you know what it is and you can prepare your answer. The first question is, we are going to change the world. You have no voting? They've taken them away?
Just an idea.
What?
Can I receive the mic? I'll just come here. I'll call everyone to stand up. I have a very important message, please. Just
Are they not outside?
I will be sitting here just.
They're outside now. Apparently everyone should get one. So.
Very tight. Very tight.
I want to remind everyone about translating the resolution into many languages.
Okay. Yeah. Davey, can you remind everyone about translating the resolution into language?
Yeah, there was a really good point made, which was about how we've taken the resolutions and translate them into so many different languages around the world. So anybody, who wants to, I think we'll work out which bit of the website we put that on, but please take the resolutions and translate them into your local languages, because you guys have amazed us with the brilliance of your English. Not everybody in the world speaks English like you do, so having it in your native language is going to be very important. I said some questions were different than others, so.
The Afghani delegate wants to come here and do something.
What? That's you guys.
You're the
Thank
best.
you.
You're the best.
Yes. You're very kind. So, thank you very much. So do we all have voting devices now? Okay, so first of 6 questions, we're going to live vote. We are going to change the world. Do you 1 agree, do you 2 disagree, or do you 3 abstain? Do you want to do the second one? There may just be a huge amount of honesty going on. No, I'm not. It's pretty powerful.
Okay, the second one, and mind how you vote because we're watching who does what, okay? The inaugural One Young World has been better than I expected.
1, I agree. 2, I disagree. 3, I abstain. And if we could roll the clock. That's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. We've at last got a vote which is under 80. So we've got 60% agreeing, 26 disagreeing, and 14 abstaining. Question 3. I'd like to come back next year. I agree, I disagree, I abstain.
20%, I agree.
And what we're now going to do is we're going to identify those people who voted I disagree on the last question. So 1, I agree. 2, I disagree. 3, I abstain. Guys, 84% is really good. It's not bad. It's good. Now, the next question is just to check that there actually isn't a flaw in the voting devices. And question 4 is, Archbishop Desmond Tutu is a rock star. 1, I agree. 2, I disagree. 3, I abstain. If we can roll the clock. Do you want to do 5?
I've been I can answer this one. I've been really impressed with the amazing people I've met here. I have. 1, I agree. 2, I disagree. 3, I'm not going to tell you. What are you doing? Are you doing bad stuff again?
And finally, there was a great suggestion, I can't remember from which delegate speaker, that we should have a resolution which is, if we bring it up, that the world's leaders must listen to the world's young people. So if we could vote on this final and slightly more serious question, 1, I agree. 2, I disagree. 3, I abstain. Way. That is the highest result of all the polls over the last 2.5 days, which is fantastic.
One young world.
So we're now going to look at a little montage that's been put together of the last couple of days. So if we could roll the slide video, please.